University of Texas says its school song, The Eyes of Texas, is intentionally or overtly racist. It is not. That was the result of a 58-page report released by the school today.
The Eyes of Texas song, written in 1903, had been under the spotlight after football players refused to sing it after games. The committee concluded that there was a very low likelihood the song originated with a quote from Confederate General Robert E. Lee. Singing The Eyes of Texas after UT sporting events has been a tradition for decades. KXAN Sports Director Roger Wallace joining us now live in the newsroom to talk about today's findings. First off, Roger, can you tell us more about what the school's report spelled out?
Robert, the overriding conclusion from the 4-month research project, 25 members on the committee included extensive interviews and reading of history, that the school song does not have racial intent. The committee acknowledges that it debuted in a racist setting, exceedingly common for the time. But as the preponderance of research showed, there was no racist intent. Sydney?
And last week it was reported that school donors sent hundreds of emails threatening to stop supporting UT if players continued to refuse to sing that song after games. Can you take us back to last year's season? Remind folks, how was the tradition handled by players and coach at the time, Tom Herman?
Well, as you remember, in June, the players were allowed to voice their opinions on racial injustice with that march to the Capitol. Once the season started, the players, a lot of them chose to leave the field while The Eyes of Texas was playing. It bubbled over in the image of Sam Ehlinger standing alone after the OU game. Then the team did begin staying on the field for the song, not necessarily taking part in the song, but just being there as a team together.
Roger, has there been any indication that the UT football recruiting process has been affected by the school donors' threats?
Yeah, that's interesting. So far, Steve Sarkisian has been off to a very positive start in the recruiting department, landing commitments not only for this upcoming 2022 class, but also the 2023 class. Former player and member of the committee, KXAN Cosby, one of the all-time great UT football players, spoke to me about that recruiting element today.
Talk about recruiting, certainly in-state. That's an easy one, to be honest with you, because a lot of the other schools in the state didn't take the measures or the actions that UT took on the 40 acres. And so if there wants to be negative recruiting, I think that may backfire from their standpoint.
KXAN said he was overwhelmed being part of this committee, and you can see my entire interview with him tonight at 9:45. That's on More Than the Score over on the CW Austin. Sydney?
All right, Roger, thank you for joining us, and we will see you at 6 o'clock.